will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to jam. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, winter, Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to jam. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, winter, Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to jam. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics.
What up? What it do? Greetings from the Cave of Wonders. How's everybody doing? Nice, healthy 68. Some more Skeleton Crew action. Well, hasn't been the worst thing for you guys, has it? Oh, like that. Fucking lost my end just on time. I guess I do this from the dark. How's everybody doing out there? Whoa, what are these crazy emoji things? We can do some different things on this chat now. Or maybe not. Okay, never mind. I thought I saw something. So, been a crazy week. A lot of emotions in the market. A lot of movement too. How did you guys do this week? Had a killer scorecard come out of the room. A lot of crazy movements in crypto. Stocks have been wild. Apple hit a new all-time high yesterday. You know, let me hear some feedback from you guys. Or FX plans all played out pretty well. You know, yen went crazy. There was movement in like all parts of the market, while it seemed like a lot of people really weren't paying attention. I'm sure everybody could kind of detect that. It is 9:27. Shout out to everybody throwing some bids. Damn, Amber, you must have hit something crazy. Thank you for keeping us constantly on the right side. I do my best. Tonic, peace outside. Who's that? And Devon. Appreciate all you guys, man. Amber must be balling. I hope so. Been riding 2 larger time frame waves up. Very nice. Arboin capitalized crypto moves. Chopped on NQ. We'll talk about that. See if I can help you straighten that out, Jans. Can we look at Tesla on the large macro? Possibly. Possible. You guys like the theme? The theme today. We'll talk about that in a second. It's 9:28 before the bell opens. Get the guys who are gonna run out of here on the bell and need something. Right now, level wise, NQs, watching that related to the QQQs. Thinking that this bull flag still has life if we survive the pits and don't blow out the low. You know, that's the worst case. Just be patient with it. If we go check out futures right now, it's a pretty good congestion of levels I have here in the. Where is it? Hang on. Couldn't quite remember. There it is. For anybody who's on futures, that's 15.027 by 27.25. It's a great trigger. Hit that thing a couple times. They beasted it there, and I don't know how much they erased them here, but it's been a good trigger. Goes over all the way back to it's FMC wick and stuff like that. So worth paying attention to if you're paying attention now. Still in a bull flag. It's not totally dead. So right here, if we pull him down, right, as long as he holds a low, he can still bounce here and come back out of this. So I pay attention to it right now in the opening bell. Like I said, guys like Apple, they're coming off the highs. Remember we talked about back in the days? Oops. So goes Apple, so goes the market. So you always want to kind of keep your eyes on what the fuck he's doing. Because a lot of times you see him, he tends to run counter everybody else. Everybody wasn't showing the kind of strength that Apple showed. And he breaks his high, and you're like, oh man, that was being a video. It's like super strong, but no, he's not. It's like, oh, Tesla must be super strong. Nope, he's not up there either. A lot of times, Apple, the biggest motherfucker on the planet, touching as many peripheral industries as the rest of tech touches, tends to do his own fucking thing, and then the whole planet reprices on him. So much like Nvidia kind of spilled over into repricing a lot of tech, Apple kind of spills over into repricing like fucking general business on the planet, because he really is the thing that touches all markets. So it's pretty cool if you pay attention to that. So Apple making a move on his own at all-time highs definitely warrants like some extra attention, I think. Something is definitely not right now. What did I just lose? Hold on. Something computer related just fucking went fucking not right. One sec. God damn it. What the fuck was that?
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5.
Okay, I can't figure it out. Anyhow, I always gotta ask, see what you guys think. What did you guys think of the show write-up? And did you get the write-up? I know there's a couple translations you might find for this, but if you read it in context, you probably know which one you're supposed to grab, right? Is my mic right? Hold on a sec. All right, better. So yeah, what I was saying, sorry. I'm having some like IT issues right now. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Having problems. All right, there it goes. Yeah, the market whispers the secrets, but you gotta pay attention to hear it. There are moments when action is futile, words hold no value, and your patience, you finally realize true mastery is found in cherishing the golden silence. If you don't have anything of value to contribute, sometimes it's best not to speak, and in markets, sometimes nothing is needed to be done, but pay attention and listen, and you'll get your signal. You don't have to make anybody an indicator or anything like that. If you pay attention to your objective, the market's always speaking to you. And, it's on you to have the right mindset to actually hear what it's trying to tell you. You see the emotional shit that you see on Twitter, you see the vacancy inside the Discord, you see the low show numbers, and we use all that to read the market message, not just price structure. And so I was trying to tell people, the entry logic that we use is rather basic, but having conviction to be around when it really matters, when NVIDIA shows it to you, and not kind of like mentally away, that's reading the market message and developing conviction to be around to capitalize on that structure, right? Because when you look back in hindsight, it always looks like, wow, that looks so easy. I should have seen that. I should have taken that. And the reason that you don't is because your mind is not in tune with the market message, and you're in tune with everybody else who's lackadaisical and complacent when opportunity knocks. So, that's basically the theme of that message. Cherishing the golden silence. But yeah, basically. We're at 89. Should I do no drawings until we reach 100? Like, man, he's slacking on me today. Only 60 likes, 90 viewers. Anyone want to explain the salt levels? Definitely put out good intel, good analysis, but it's pretty clear there's like some serious salt around the eco. So why don't we have a confessional? Confession is good for the soul. Tell Kazo what he did to hurt your feelings. Not that he gives a shit, remember, I don't. But sometimes venting is good for the soul, Gotta tell you, the salt levels are high enough that you're gonna miss a lot of opportunities, like whatever's going on in there. But we definitely could see it that there's definitely an issue, and that salt level is contributing to why so few people are in the winner's circle. But that's the nature of value. Remember, I told you everything in the world to get rid of most people when opportunity strikes, and this giant bull flag that we see right now, that everybody wishes they're playing in rotation. The S&P is being missed by so many people because their minds, for one reason or the other, are completely out the fucking window, right? And so it's on you not to be in that same place with everybody else. And one of the things that we try to tell you guys to make sure you don't end up in that same place is to not take the same kinds of habits that everyone that you see in the empty space takes, which is not being a fucking round, Participation is key to have a chance to enact a plan. And if you're never around, it doesn't matter how good your trading plan or whatever your fucking system is, you're not going to fucking get to play anything. Salt causing high blood pressure in this bitch? Maybe. So it's definitely a crazy thing, but for whatever reason, right, no matter how much intel we had and how much preparation, it didn't matter that when it came time to be there for the rotation of the S&P and NVIDIA, everyone who was hopping, skipping, and jumping ready to play super leverage in the summer just slowly went away, and the market slowly gained traction. And it's not like, it's not like it came after. It came directly, at the moment that the minds that could perceive it checked out. And that's the thing, one of the market messages you need to actually watch, right? To be observant of the environment you're in and watch everyone around us kind of dwindle away as opportunity began to knock. Come January, we dropped a huge BTC chart into the eco with a ridiculous fractal from 2015. And that was a giant memo to the entire ecosystem, and everybody literally checked out from January as this thing caught fire. And that's part of the conviction that we had to stay bullish with the murder cluster support. And if anybody pay attention to the shooting cluster support, one, that's the most legendary fucking market analysis ever. And two, What are you thinking? Dead bodies? We had an indicator for that, right? That was literally the whole point, is to have an indicator about fucking people who couldn't fucking be part of the next wave. And there's no bigger indicator than motherfuckers are dead, right? So we saw that intel, we put it out there. We have insane shit, in OnlyFans, and still a bulk of the community managed to check out right before things took off. And it could really be no other way, right? To be honest with you, it was literally not a good moment until everyone checked out. And that is the nature of value in the marketplace. Everyone can't win. And so it is the consistent behavior, beating the inconsistent behavior, lets you last long enough to capture value as people move themselves out of your fucking way. So anyways, that's enough memos on the market message, right? So hopefully you guys got that. That makes sense. It's kind of crazy, but at the end of the day, paying attention to other people's habits is insightful in your own. And that's one of the reasons being, participating all the time in the eco. The few who do it, they watch the wide body of people who don't do any of the habits that give you a chance. And it helps you to refine your own shit and catch yourself, where you slip. So for the people that are participating, are always in the scorecards, thanks for listening to what we told you. We're not telling you to be an asshole. We're telling you because we know it's part of what actually allows you to have the conviction to do these things. And it's not just your system. Where did this little wacky heart that's popping bubbles up inside of my Streamlabs come from? I've never seen this before. Very interesting. Uno momento. It's a new feature, I think. Yeah, I've never seen that before. It looks like fucking, I think Discord has that shit. Where did my water go? Ugh. What is it? Just a heart on the screen here? Oh, won't let me do it though. Okay. Never seen that before. Ah, son of a bitch. So we're gonna do. It's Friday. Gonna shoot for a concept call next week. What are you guys thinking? Let me see. I could probably do a poll. That's probably smarter. That you guys tell me what day to do it. Oh, damn it. What did I just do? I don't want that option. Alright, here it comes. I think it did it. Alright, let me know what day works for you guys. Thursdays, I usually do them in the morning. Saw some people say they never see those things, so I do one after the USA market closes, which is like 4:30 p.m. East Coast, and I do another one if it's a Thursday follow-up. It's 6:30 in the morning, so they're in like two totally different time zones. So I'm not sure where else I could put them to make it any better, but you guys let me know, because I put them in those two different slots, so people who work or whatever on one side of the water or the other would have a chance in the other day. So those are only two slots that really work out well for me to still be able to do prep and all my shit. But yeah, let me know which one of those is better. Thursdays leading, love democracy. All right. All right, got that fixed. It's looking like Thursday. You guys never pick Thursday. You always FOMO Tuesday. All right, let's see. So, outside of tech things, we should probably start looking around, right? Because one thing we know for sure is when everyone got focused on crypto stalled out and tech began to go crazy. And when tech goes crazy, everyone stares at tech, and there's usually something else to look at. So, been talking about this stuff before, right? Where'd he go? And noting that like really no one's talking about this, but cruise lines are making one of the most epic comebacks like ever. Like they are bull tard crazy. As crazy as this projection was, I mean, it has just kept fucking going, and they're the real strength right now. You look at like XOY, like what's still strong? Tesla, Tesla began to chill out, but a lot of leisure and entertainment stuff has not. Stuff has been like super super fast. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, what's going on there? Because you think with things cost rising the way they are, discretionary spending would be getting taxed out a lot, right? That's the thing that people are having a lot of worries about is how in the world to pay for things. But there is like a split, right? There are haves and there are people more have-nots, but there aren't people that are totally broke, right? There are people who are making money in this world. So I definitely think it's worth paying attention to, what we're seeing in this. So paying attention to what parts of discretionary are strong, like CCL, we talked about Zoom CCL. These guys not as strong, but like some insane moves, and we brought it up on the show a few times. So I don't know how many people really kept their eyes on this, right? But parts of discretionary that look pretty good that I was looking at. I mean, we talked about Uber is rotating an epic bull flag, and he'd long since kind of gone off the radar for a lot of people. But there's it's like the comeback of the ages is going on over here also in some discretionary guys. So definitely worth paying attention along with some of those home builders we talked about. Anybody been paying attention to those? Can we look at MR? We could look at some energy, guys. Energy is definitely one of the places that's been kind of chilling. You said Boomer versus Gen Z. That is true, right? The Boomers have more money than ever, and they're spending it in retirement. And then Gen Z is kind of like got nothing and trying to basically figure out how to live in tiny homes. Is an interesting dichotomy in the marketplace, right? And Gen Z is kind of like okay fitting into like lesser spending and lower standards of living. But the Boomers are actually living it up right now. It's interesting to see like things like Ferrari and certain luxury brands, Louis Vuitton, all doing really well at the same time that people are screaming they can't afford anything. So again, message of the markets, if you pay attention, right? Not everybody's getting crushed by inflation. I remember Boomers are heavily invested in assets, so if anybody was perfectly hedged for this, it would have been them. Gen Z owns no assets, so they are exposed, like at the front end of the train to inflation. Very good. So let's see. Did anybody give us any war stories recently? Let's see if you guys did. I think I got them all. No, we did get some new ones. Check it out. All right, let's see what we got. This is NY League. This is my first war story, so I'll keep it short and at least try to. After starting to watch Kaz around a year and a half ago, I started taking trading really seriously, and it got to my head way too much. When I started zooming into 10-minute charts and losing a bunch of R's, I saw myself drifting away from the show and not interacting with the eco less and less. Then I started realizing that I was paying attention to the wrong stuff and being dumb money myself while I thought I was so good and stuck up. I saw myself doing that, and that really changed my mentality. I saw the stuff that Kaz would say in the shows and in real life, how people acted on certain occasions, what the outcomes were. Here are some of the trades I pulled off after changing my mentality and starting to pay attention. What do we got? I can't see that. Ethereum, micro Nasdaqs. I love to see you guys interdependently. Sorry, I got COVID holes in my words. trading, crypto versus like, index futures interchangeably. I think that's fucking, an awesome thing. And I don't know how many of you realize like this is not a common thing. Like, when I go back 20 years ago, somebody traded Forex, they traded Forex, they traded stocks, they traded futures, and things like that. They, that's what they traded. The fact that you guys kind of like bounce around, you should look out there. You won't see a lot of people in crypto just trading anything like that, going from Bitcoin to Ether to the NASDAQ, to options. What you guys do on a normal basis it might be easy to overlook, but that's not a common thing in retail trading to see people do this, So it's definitely something I think is really awesome that you guys can actually make plans around two asset classes and do that. And that comes with everyone understanding risk assets are risk assets, right? Not sitting there getting, all caught up in thinking that, crypto is its own super unique asset class, like a lot of people in crypto have sold themselves. So very good. Definitely think I'm seeing an improvement in the fact that you guys can have these both in the same week and, interchangeably move back and forth between them. That's definitely awesome flexibility. So stick to the show, stick to the same habits we tell you, and if you realize you're winning by being active in the eco, you should change no habits, right? Unless you want your pump to change, you should change none of the things that get you to start winning. So always be aware of what does get you to start winning and don't change it, certain level of communication might keep you in the right mental state. Certain interactions and conversations and stuff that's brought up in there is going to be some of the stuff that you need outside of your chart structures and your intel on the show to kind of like get your conviction to like know what you want to focus on. If you want to focus on crypto, if you want to focus on stocks. So very good. Ripple effect. Who is this? Kiki, book alert. Fuck sakes. Damn. Girls, you use ChatGPT. What the actual fuck? All right. Let me see this. Where's my water? NY Lig, are you I can't remember. Are you in high school? I think you're in high school, are you? And it's all right. Yeah, don't stay in paper forever, but if you're just getting used to to futures, that's cool. And I don't think the ETH was real, and then the futures was paper, and that's fine. But just like to see that your mechanics, you can translate them from both assets very, very easily. I think that's really cool. So be good to see when you. That's cool. So he's 15. He's actually younger than my son. Holy shit. Well, that's even crazier. Let me go back to that one. You're drifting at 15 in high school? You haven't had time to drift. But, well, that's very observant. And, I think you speak beyond your years to actually, be that introspective and take note of, like, your habits drifted away and it hurt you. So that's huge, Could you imagine getting to learn this when you're in, like, fucking, like, 10th, 11th grade and come out of high school with, like, this level of thinking? You're saying like, man, if I could go back in time and take what I know and start over again. So that's pretty awesome, man. Really proud of you to see you do this. We don't normally have like too many high school people in here, so that's definitely interesting. And also something that I could say that when I was in high school, this wasn't available to anybody who was 15. Like the internet was DOS on the computers I first saw, and nobody was trading. So what a difference like technology makes for people to give access. So that's pretty awesome though. 15. Holy fuck. You gotta get this down by the time he graduates, man. He might be fucking like, be able to buy the school. Alright, so let us see. Killer fucking war stories. Okay, Kiki's book. Let's go get that. Alright, I wrote this war story over several weeks. No, 1 second. You wrote this war story over several weeks? Girl, you plotted this on me? What the fuck? Alright. As I've only now had the opportunity to post, but have been capturing my evolving thoughts for some time. After failing to properly value OnlyFans and getting dick kicked once again after missing Matic, I knew to pay extra attention to intel, so began my journey with Ripple. Each point was written on a different day. Thought it would be interesting to share the evolution of reflections over time. Okay, number one. Okay, time to be really honest. Since switching to live trading, I've noticed my utter mediocrity, barely breaking even with when including commissions, etc. Okay, so that's something I tell a lot of you guys, and some of you have stayed on paper for like a long fucking time, and that can really fuck you because it gives you a false sense of confidence that you can do a lot of things that you can't, because liquidity matters. And if you guys have been in this market since like last summer, right, where there was like nothing moving, and every time you touch something you got fucking dick kicked, right? If there's nothing there, the market will move against you. But when you trade on paper all fucking day, you'll think that you can hit stuff in places you really fucking can't. And it's really important to be aware of that, right? It's not to trade in the real market and really touch it and make sure your strategy makes sense, right? Uno momento. All right, so to get a free roll locked in there. All right. So yeah, we recommend you do paper to really mainly learn your platform. Not so much like execution logic and stuff like that. You work on that in replays, but when you do paper, beyond fucking figuring your platform, figuring out your order tickets, figuring out like how to like not leave, a day stop versus a good to cancel, all those things. It doesn't give you a real sense of what really happens when you touch market liquidity. And the market is, we talk about these things at Goldman Sachs and Sonar Dark, right? None of that, what that does, and the slippages and all the fucking nonsense and all those little nuances you have to learn, will you pick up on. And the longer you stay in paper is a bigger false sense of security it will give you about what you're going to come to the market and deal with. And you're going to get stunned and have an emotional setback. So you do want to endeavor to do it like real sooner than later once you know your platform. But do paper to get your platform down, because clerical mistakes will catch you when you first start, and those piss you off. Like the market's hard enough. Fucking losing money because of a clerical mistake will throw you a mile off sometimes for days and fuck up a whole lot of days if you find yourself down for something that really wasn't your strategy. So definitely do that. But as soon as you can get live, I recommend get live. Let's see. Okay, where did it go? Damn it, I lost track of my shit. Okay, barely breaking even with including commissions. Doing just good enough that I'm not getting wrecked, but mediocre enough that I'm not profitable. It is evident that from last XRP play, I took profits and set take profits and stop loss orders up before I went to sleep, but didn't set up the main stop loss. So I got hit by the dump candle. Again, not crazy painful, but just glaringly exposing my mediocrity. Just middle of the road shit. Interestingly, I sort of half awake at like 4 a.m. thought about the position and intuited that it would dump. There's a part of me that is crazy committed to mediocrity and safety. I have to drag myself kicking and screaming towards anything meaningful and just do the bare minimum to say I'm doing something, but not actually fully commit or follow through. Sounds like you need to enjoy the golden silence, doesn't it? Pretty crazy. I can cut again there. All right. Pay attention to that crazy level I told you about. So you're futures traders. All right. Gosh, this is so much I lose track of where you wrote. I also have good entries, but fumble the management. Again, poor follow through. Of course, this happens everywhere. I make planned decisions, but then follow through often means I end up in a position where something that was supposed to save time and money in the end ends up costing more and creating more headaches. I'm still figuring out what it is, but I do know I fucking hate it. Well, that's good, because hate moves mountains. I hate the feeling that I'm going in circles. Logically, it's more like a helix. Some progress and improvements, but still circles. Perhaps I wasn't patient enough with my own progress and went to live trading before the foundation was rock solid. Also, I upgraded my membership to Guardian, but based on what Cass said in the stream, I'm thinking of downgrading back to Acolytes, thinking I have no business being Guardians when there's a lot more foundational progress to be made. Which, as Cass says, there's nothing more than enough intel in the shows. The upgrade for this month is done. We'll put some targets in place so I can make a decision whether to continue or not. So the main thing is, now that you're live, you probably have a little anxiety and some emotions going into decisions, and they're starting to make you like forget little things that you totally would remember if you didn't have anything on the line. And that's one of the things I tell you guys when you come back, like if you take a vacation, you drift, you ease back into it, because like a little bit of nerves, a little bit of emotions like deletes information, and it deletes a lot of things that aren't like second nature to you, and it makes you start to like question your own senses. You didn't have that when you're doing paper, because you have lots of confidence and no risk. So don't like beat yourself up too much about it. The fact you just went live and you're having some problems, that's normal for a lot of people. I think foundation wise, like what your planning is and everything that goes into the before you push the button is something you have to fucking review and make sure you you have a set plan. You know what you're always doing before you get to the screen. And then when you're targeting something, what it is that you're waiting for exactly, and what resolutions, and don't pick up anything else. And when you're live trading, right, the amount of emotions you get and nerves means that like you really need to concentrate your focus. You add those nerves that you're having to like fucking trying to watch like 15 and 20 symbols, and you're gonna like literally be frazzled the whole time you trade, and you're never gonna feel good about what you're doing. But this is important, right? This kind of revelation is the kind of thing that we want to go over in concept calls, right? Because you're still active, you're newer, and you're having some troubles while you're still trying to capture what's going on in the market, and you're at least here. A whole bunch of people aren't even around to think about trying to capture what's going on in the market. So at least you're here, right? So you're one step ahead of like 90% of our entire ecosystem we don't see. That being said, this is what I need you guys to tell me. I think a lot of people come into the room and they expect to make sure they tell everyone they're winning. They see a lot of people put down some crazy stuff on those scorecards, and the goal is egotistical in I need to measure up to what everyone else is doing. That's one of the reasons you're speaking about mediocrity. I mean, girl, if you're a student and you just went live 2 weeks ago, what exactly are you expecting? You're a student, so negative self-talk, is a conversation still with the universe. You don't want to put that out there and tell yourself you're mediocre. At the end of the day, you're still participating in the market, and you're playing alongside a lot of stuff that the bulk of the market is playing short or flat out didn't even know to get. So, it's a perspective thing. So if you put yourself in the middle, you're going to fucking end up in the middle. So don't do that. This is the stuff I want to see people write down so I can talk to you about how to get through it. And once you give me details like this of what's hurting you, I can tell you exactly how to get out of this. So, just don't beat yourself up too much about it. I think this is a really good war story, because this is either, a one-off, or this is a whole bunch of people not knowing what to do, having too much information, and not knowing how to like navigate through it to make a simple plan to pick a few things. So, like I said yesterday in chat, this concept call is going to focus on that, right? There is an assload of information, and I'm trying to organize the Discord to like put it in its place, whether it be market prep or only stands and the show. But for all of you who are kind of new to like dealing with this volume of information, we probably have to have a real sit down about like, what you really need to take from this. And it's going to be stunningly small. For the volume of information that comes out of like 3 hours to 6 hours worth of shows a week and an Intel channel, if you're tracking like 3 symbols across a quarter, recognize there's going to be like fucking like 30 some shows in a quarter, and you're going to watch 3 symbols, maybe 1 in crypto and 2 in stocks, and that's going to be your focus for like 3 months. So you're going to be paying attention to a little peripheral information to kind of watch your sectors and things like that and shore up your plans. But you're not going to take on vast amounts of new plans in that span of time, and you're going to have to learn how to like disregard people winning in all kinds of shit you weren't watching and wait to win in the thing you're watching. So the intel is not the problem, the ability to use it is. So this is something I definitely want to talk about this week. So all right, number 2. Holy shit, that was just number 1. All right, I typed it out and read it over, and another word for lack of follow through is complacency. It also happens that I started thinking about the war story I'm going to write before the trade has fully played out. Yeah, that's definitely, don't get ahead of yourself and like, trying to win something you haven't done yet. Yeah, how can you write a war story for a play you haven't done yet? That's crazy. So let's look at this further. I'm going to write it before the trade is fully played out. A fractal of boats and coke, I suppose. That puts then, that plus then complacent equals wrecked. And so I am price. Also, having to preface with time to be honest indicates that I'm normally lying, which is just a way of erasing or twisting information. This, of course, shows up everywhere. Kaz mentioned potential upside on USDT to .D and show would be news driven. Could be that subconsciously I'm absorbing info. My intuition will then be trying to communicate it with me, but I don't value it, so I ignore it. My instincts are fine. I'm just unable to listen or trust them. Right, I put information out there, and you don't want to go, okay, so I'm looking for that. It's just what's possible and what likely would go in the event of. At the end of the day, you guys are structure driven, right? If you're contexting and using structure, you're looking for like peripheral information around it that gives you like, some conviction, right? Not like, okay, I need this story to make this happen. We look at certain people, some dumb money people who say stupid shit at the moment, or emotions that are in the marketplace, and we make decisions around that, like, with regard to structure. Remember what we talked about before, that one quote I gave you, plan fundamentally, but always enter technically. It doesn't matter what might happen, it just matters what really is, right? And we want to be aware of what's possible, we want to be aware of what people would interpret those things to be. And then we want to be aware of what actually is, not just sit there waiting on hypothetical scenarios to play out, right? A lot of people get caught up in what ifs. And I know I use that what if term a lot, but they don't actually deal with what is. And that's a huge mistake, right? The market is extremely efficient at valuing all available information. But most people are not very efficient at taking in all available information. So, I try to make you aware of things, but at the end of the day, keep it simple and deal with what's actually happening. Discussions in Trading Lounge with Giannis had made me realize that I was way into the dream time frame wise. When too zoomed in, only thing to do is to back up. Can see it shockwaving, accumulating volume equals time to wait for free and clear. Right. Let's see. Time to wait for free and clear. Okay, got it. Also observed, I can have crazy anxiety attacks when entering a trade, right? Too much is going on when you do that. If you feel a lot of anxiety before you trade, that's not a good thing. That's not where you want to be. There's definitely a threshold with what monetary value I feel comfortable putting at risk, and I'm acutely aware that I have to increase my tolerance over time if I'm going to reach my goals. Right, and also, if your sizing's too big, you're going to feel some kind of way, and that's definitely a huge tell. You got to pay attention to yourself, not to oversize your positions. If you feel mental stress, they're oversized. If you don't care at all, you're probably undersized, what you could actually technically handle, right? You get stopped in this bitch. 1 sec. Instant dick kick. Follow Tiki's advice, that Tikerson, old man Tikerson, and reduce my risk per trade, which has helped. There's definitely a threshold with monetary value I feel comfortable with putting at risk, and I'm acutely aware of that, and I have to increase my tolerance over time. If I'm going to reach my goals, at the end of the day, it's a relative number, and the size of the number shouldn't affect what I do. Anything else would be getting emotional. Tiki also suggested not thinking in dollar terms, terms out points, example R's, which helps with gamifying. Also, to be focusing on improving hit rate, taking focus off fiat amount to reduce emotions. And that's in the room when we talk about R's a lot. I mean, for all of you, you're going to know what you're betting on your R's. But at the end of the day, right, like if you're betting like 10% of your roll and you have got 10 shots to be right or you're broke, like you're going to be fucking stressed out. And if you're also playing too little, you're not going to make enough on what you have as a roll to be meaningful to do anything for you. So that's something that everybody has to kind of figure out for themselves. But one thing for sure, if you're playing too much of your roll, you will feel like emotional stress trying to do it. So those are wise words, figure out what makes sense and then start to deal with the R's and mechanics of it and get the dollars out of your head. Something I definitely noticed, in crypto, it's always been like, a lot easier to make more money in crypto because you don't think about the dollar so much when you're trading like shit coins and you're thinking about what you're making in shit coins and you have to convert it. So, it clearly shows that like when you're acutely aware of how much money is on the table, your mind and greed affect you. So your goal is to get it gamified. So you can just deal with your mechanics, not deal with like, how much money I'm losing. And if your structure is right over time, you're going to make more than you lose, and it's going to turn into the money that you need without you having to focus on it and fuck yourself up psychologically doing it. So, all right. Kaz talking again about eco behavior and pleb mindset this week. Indeed, a lot. There's definitely been some plebbery out there that you definitely want to be aware of, right? I many times still wonder whether I can do this, or am I doomed to be a pleb with poverty mindset for the rest of my life? You definitely got to stop talking like that. It's definitely not healthy, I gotta say. I lack conviction in myself, obviously, but this is also mindset view, and I need to be careful not to close myself off to future potential. The Insta post with many paths comes to mind. Every time Kaz says, "What if?" I think of the Marvel show and the many possibilities. That's exactly where I get it from. I could be, and which one I want to be, which one I want to witness. This plus motivational channel and constant reminding myself of what vets like Snow and Izzy have been able to do has helped with that a lot. Don't sleep on this. First things first, like get the negative self-talk out, right? If you're going to manifest your own reality, you've got to be your biggest fan and your biggest believer in your own capacities. I've struggled with that when I was a lot younger. I had a lot of family that used to put me in a shithole, and I really didn't focus on even trying to do art until now, that I'm free of a lot of people who told me that, I wasn't it. I have like award-winning artists in my family and shit like that, and it was definitely hard to feel confident what I could put out next to a guy that could like do like sculpting, paint, acrylic, every goddamn thing under the sun, like better than your fucking most famous versions of those people. Free roll, yay! Okay, good. Sorry, that's a lot of stress. Told you those lowers are great down there at 27 and a quarter. Jesus Christ, let me stop this before I get punched in the face. Hold on a sec. Where the heck? Sweet. So this is like really good scorecard, I think, for everybody in the room, because a lot of people in the room are actually measuring themselves against other people, and it's definitely mind-fucking people in there. Like, I've never seen anything like where people go into a calculus class and they got to be the smartest kid in the class on day one. But in trading, everyone's coming in to like, contribute value and measure up to everybody else, and that's not it. 10 years from now, I don't know if many of you are going to know each other, but you guys, if you take away the right skills from here, are going to be taking care of your lives and families with it. And that's the point. You didn't come here to beat anybody on the internet. You came here to learn a skill that most people don't know how to teach, and learn it well enough to walk out of here on your own without having to depend on me or anybody else to help you make your choices. That's your main goal, right? And the idea of mediocrity and all this stuff is really you comparing yourselves to what you're seeing in the room, and that really puts you in a really bad mental position to actually progress and deal with your 1% better every day. It's a class, treat it like algebra. You never walked in there needing to contribute value, being the best on day one. You knew you didn't know shit, and you spent every semester going through it asking a million questions. That's what learning's like. And you never told a teacher, I feel really mediocre at algebra. So mindset things, to give yourself a chance to actually begin winning, you've got to speak to yourself a lot differently. And that's likely fucking how a lot of people are dealing with things in the room. They're looking at other people, and you're missing the point of why you came here. You didn't come here to win a fucking contest with random avatars and random handles. Hell, you don't know anybody's real name in the room anyway, except for maybe Tiki. That's not his real name, but it should be. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I see people coming here, and I tell you guys participate and stuff like that, and I know what you're doing. You're hiding out because you don't want to look bad in front of the next guy. But at the end of the day, you don't want to look bad, and then you end up looking bad because you came in really worrying about vanity and not fucking progressing at what you came to my room for. So I don't know if that helps resonate with anybody, but please stop doing that shit. Show up and fucking be willing to make mistakes and learn from them. Don't sit there and act like you got to get it all right. I put you guys a card yesterday. You see that shit show performance I did? That was a train wreck at the end of the day. I got fucking smacked like 7 times. inside like an hour and a half. That's retarded. I should have just let it go in the morning and saved myself a fuck ton of commissions. But I sat there and fucked off and burned out like probably like 2/3 of what I actually made on the back of the day because of so many commissions going in and out. And I gotta learn from that, right? Like I thought I had a good day. I actually had a slip up in the pre-market that caused me to be down, so I had to make it all back. And so I wasn't happy with how much I was up at lunchtime. I was like, I could squeeze a little more on this, and then I touched the fucking day and fucking put myself in the soup again. So I ended up working goddamn full time like McDonald's and shit the whole day to the end of the bell to get back to the other fucking mistake. And that's okay. I look mediocre and I fucking teach everybody, and it's fine. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna fucking get emotionally responsive to shit. I emotionally responded to trying to get back fucking my slip up in the pre-market, and it put me into the shit can. And so that's something to reflect on, so I don't do that dumb shit again. And I actually just walk out, deal with my mistake, do the amount of trades that I set myself to do, so I don't run my commissions through the fucking ceiling, and go be about my day. Shit happens, girl, but don't fucking beat yourself up about it. And that's everybody else who correlates with that idea, because she's likely not the only person who feels that way. Sorry, trying to cut another one. So there's a lot of people missing, and the fact that you're showing up and you feel this way and people are like having trouble capitalizing the intel, I think I get what's happening right now in the rotation of the S&P, and for who's available, who's here now, what the real issues are. I think I know exactly what direction to go in our concept call. So where's that going anyway? See, Tuesday, I knew it. So Tuesday, we would never do Tuesday in the pre-market anyway. We'll do Tuesday after market. Yeah, that's how many people can say that they identify with what Kiki wrote and be honest about that in some way, some part of it? She wrote a lot. Can anybody else say that they're having some of those issues and some of those mental battles and stuff like that? What is going on with this stupid thing? It's covering up my All right, my chat is stuck. One sec. I gotta wait for it to come on the screen. Oh, my chat's mega stuck. Okay, one sec. Okay, let's see. Izzy said, have a motivation, a vision for what kind of life you want at the other side of the tunnel, right? That probably doesn't involve competing with anybody in the room at all, right? Like, that's the thing. Have a goal first, and then you'll know what to work on. If you come in like, I'm just trying to make money, like, how much, for what, what's your plan? You really don't know what you're trying to do. You're trying to buy a home, you're trying to fucking start a family. What are you doing? What's your ultimate plan? What do you want to be in like 3 years? Where do you want to be in 6 months of joining this ecosystem? And all of that is going to be key to laying out first, so you can figure out what the appropriate steps are to build your way to that goal. As you wrote, the answer is within the eco teaches conviction in your decisions based on logical thinking and pragmatism. Don't strive to be better than others. Strive to become a better version of yourself each day, right? If you just incrementally beat yourself each day in, whatever span of time, half a year, 3 years, you're going to not recognize the person that was at the starting point of that. And that's like how you incrementally make yourself better, not compared to anybody else, right? Because there's a lot of fucking variables you don't really take into account. When you go into a room, you start to measure yourself against other people. Some people's money came from their family, and they didn't have to work for as much money, and they're not at the kind of like expense of life. They have like a safety net. They have different positions. They have a different risk paradigm because they're not your age. People in their 40s and 50s take less risk than people in their 20s and 30s. People with families take less risk than people without families. And unless you're going to go and evaluate every single aspect of the person you want to compare yourself to, it's not going to be an apples to apples comparison. But you won't know that, and you'll do yourself a disservice because you'll psychologically create a fucking line in the sand, a goalpost that you can't reach. And it's really just a self-inflicted injury on your own ability to focus on you and manifest your own reality. You're just busy focused on somebody else, right? So energy flows where attention goes, right? Izzy's putting some good wisdom in the chat. Definitely pay attention to that. Hey, what up, Lifted Mindset? That's part of the game, is to beat yourself. You're literally your worst enemy. You are, right? You almost always are, right? And understanding yourself and introspection being key is one of the things we tell you, because when you understand that you are your own worst enemy, you start to know how to fight that enemy. Silverline can relate. Remembering the NAS pump 3 weeks ago. Let's see. Jester says, yeah, goals convo that have been had in eco and posts in motivational channel are really key to make any of your endeavors work. What up, Lifted? Bring your ass back to the channel, bro. Where you been? It's good to see you on the show, though. At least I know you're still around. All right. So what we got? We actually have 105. I can't believe that. That was a fucking book. Usually some people leave in the war story. So it was definitely a good war story and very, very important because either Kiki's the only person that feels like that or she just told me where all of our missing brethren are. Doing what I can when I can, no trying. That's very important, right? There is no try. Just do or do not. I like it. All right. So, time for a macro. Oh, no shit. Does it do that? That mask is gone, bitches. It's kind of funny. I wonder if it was going to put it over top of it or not. Oh, shit.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly.
Motherfucker.
Loading in 5.
All right. Fucking electronic difficulties right now. All right, so back over here, open market things. Let's start with our SPY, what we usually start with. What am I running for time too, actually? Let's see, 107. No 2-hour shows, goddammit. Shout out to Mond. And Mond, appreciate you, homie. All right, what do we got here? So, SPY things. Wow, this chart is fucking complicated, I gotta say. Let's put this guy. Did I send out one of these charts? All right, let's see. I thought I did this guy where I could, you know what? I think the other mask looks cooler right now. I'm just gonna go with that. While I do charts, fuck it. I got the lights back, so fuck it. All right. Let's go here. So SPY things, go down to 30. Look at what we're doing. So we had that little zone we talked about. We had the another Goku level with a Stevie D level, and we flagged through it. And since the last show, we've been projecting back a bull flag and trying to figure out how deep this guy can go. Emotional little pinch zone we had here. We had a box range we set up here. It was a good area if he swung back to it. It will be a good area again if he swings back up to it. But right now we're tracking how deep this pullback's got to be. It's a little bit more structured on the NAS when you look at it, right? The NAS being the strength of the market too. We're kind of watching him here. He's been flagging, pumping, flagging, pumping, flagging, pumping, flagging again. And it's kind of just sitting in this entire shit show range that we told you right now. Pay attention. He might still be able to recover it. But for right now, the pre-market and into this, he's been in futures pretty much trapped in this zone. So, you know, patience right now. Nothing to really FOMO. The VIX things, since we last talked, VIX stunningly under that low that generated COVID spike, which is crazy. So he's chopping around this 1339. Definitely think there's a line of sand to pay attention to. He's at least having good interaction with it. We don't want to see him recover this with like a bang because that would probably be very bad, you know, for risk assets. So we're tracking this. He gapped up. He went down, made a new low. I'm going to take this now and I'm going to put him across here. And I'm kind of like just watching, you know, if he makes a bull flag rotation off of that. That's kind of like the thing we're all worried about. He stays under here. We can keep on getting some upside pressure, but you're down in the depths of what would be considered complacency in the VIX. So, you know, it definitely warrants keeping an eye on it. Now that he's actually done this, we can actually run that. I'll actually take this guy off of here. Yeah. And so I think, we're still keeping an eye on this. The market is up really strong. And so we want to be aware if, for whatever reason, this guy catches some life and rotates from down here. It's definitely in the lower echelon of what the VIX is, capable of reaching. That being said, zoom out and get a better look at him real quick. What are we in? 30, about 3 hour. Right. He's in a pretty crazy place and well through that upper angle that we were watching since 2018. DXY things. When we watched this was a potential bear flag, dumped down and recoiled it right now, which was what we're watching to track, things like the euro. He had a flag here. Still, this projection is still intact. It could be an expanding formation as he broke the high, broke the low of this flag. He pushed out from it, followed this projection pretty good. So now we're waiting to see if he just holds above this zone where he pumped from and it makes a larger flag system. He could still, continue to push higher. So can he do just a bigger flag here, encompassing this guy, and do something like this? It's still very possible if he holds this range that he's got here and still continues to rotate this. GBP, USD. A lot cleaner structure than the euro. He's a better breed than it, and so he looks a lot better for the DXY is kind of still just kind of cooking right now. So he's holding this flag. This could obviously trap people as a fake breakout. He's back within range of it, and he's still over this breakout system. So we want to see what that does if he sustains it and the DXY begins to fade again. GBP's probably got to pay attention to because he's been the strength in Europe. That being said, we're looking at yen stuff because yens have been fucking crazy. Dollar yen even still, right? All of them still tracking higher. This rotation is still happening as the dollar yen continues this rotation out of here. But the other currencies that are stronger than the dollar have been even fucking crazier. So we do want to pay attention to this because this is rather nuts. Some of what you're seeing going on here, right? So as we said, the pound and the euro yen trades were probably really awesome if you pay attention to these, and really well projected on the show, the entire way. And in OnlyFans, we gave you obviously the best of breed in North America on the yen, who's been fucking crazy. And no one can tell me why Mexico is so strong, but Mexico is apparently the new reserve currency of the fucking world with the peso. All right, so that's currency things, crypto things, fixed things, stock things. All right, yeah. What do you guys got? Expando Rango, cuz you already know the hated expanded range. I always got heart. What you talking about, Deadpool? I got nothing but heart. People think I'm all mean and stuff like that. I'm just really direct, and most motherfuckers are used to talking to lying assholes. So, motherfuckers that find comfort in liars find me a threat. Like all of Clonex. It's a thing. Crypto people, honestly, the entire fucking market is full of such fucking just soy boys and bitches. They reported our space down called Bad Steak. So it's just the market's just full of pussies. So it is what it is, right? 5 years ago they couldn't handle me fucking being on the wrong side of them constantly, and so they fucking deleted our fucking brand. It is just the world you live in. If people could kill you for disagreeing with you, they would, believe it or not. Right? Dictators don't come by accident. A lot of people I meet, if I gave them enough power, and they could be in that position, they'd be a dictator. Okay, so symbols. Tiki missed Adobe. Okay. Nike. All right, last time we talked about Nike, let's see. We were here, so we're watching for this possible bull flag pull back, and if he could hold a higher floor than this low and retail get some strength, might be possible. I think we put a level in here. We did. Don't remember why. Let me look back. It's the high of this. Okay. It's the pre-COVID high. Okay. And so right now, right, that's the peak pre-COVID high he's got right there, and he's sitting on that. So if you can base out and begin to rotate this and retail comes along with it a little bit, that might be possible for him. So you're kind of pay attention to that. So not much has changed since the last show when we talked about it. I looked at Macy's with this. He might not be the right guy to kind of compare him to. Anything else he could pull out? TJ Maxx. Let's see what he's doing. So there's some strength in retail. That actually looks a lot better than I last remember checking because it's been a minute. So that's worth watching. So there's some strength in retail. I'm watching Walmart too. And Nike's languishing like that. It's possible, but he's clearly not best of breed and discretionary. But, you know, patience with it until he, like, structures that a little better and there's a little strength behind it. It might be something. Pepe. Oh, Jesus. I'll come back to that guy. He's in a different chart. Tesla. So there's a rotation we thought from this bull flag. He made it just shy of the angle. Sooner than I thought he should have made it, but that's about, like, where he should be. Long-term downtrend of this from 2021. Definitely want to pay attention to. Right, let's turn this off a sec. Right, as crazy as he looks, you know, if you back up and you look at like Nvidia, right, and now he's out of here, right, you're like, oh wow, there's a huge bull flag. Well, Tesla doesn't look far off of that. He just looks like he's behind it, right? At this res, they're both clearly big ass bull flags, and so, like, you know, that's why we do the what if, thinking forward of what could be. Right, it's how you have to think about things before they become some gigantic thing, and then you have your screens up here, and you go, oh, okay, now it's obvious, right? When Nvidia is, no, stop it. Okay, what is happening? I don't know what it's doing. Right? When something looks like this, it looks like terrible. It's like you've missed it and it's in a crash. The ability to, like, think forward of what's possible is what a lot of people lack, right? A lot of people are hindsight minded and think about what they missed. But when you look at it, you have to be able to imagine what's possible. That's why I do that what if thing a lot, because that's, you know, more towards forward thinking of, like, well, what does the future hold for us? And so with this, you know, I do that a lot, so you can get rid of the aspect ratio that mind fucks you about the screen, that the high of the screen somehow is the high of the possible valuation of the company. That's ridiculous. Right, and let you think about it like that. So when you look at it like this, you can look at, like, Tesla now. You know, I look at it in the same way. You know, what's possible longer term? A lot. So, you know, a bull flag's a bull flag's a bull flag. Have a box area here for a trigger out if he gets above, you know, his angle right now. Right now we have to see if he corrects a little bit and what he does next. If he sustains this level, we want to see him push out, you know, above the angle. So thought you could correct if you got up here. He's gotten always the angle already. But if he does it like a flag here, like a little larger than this crazy ass moon pump he did getting up here. Look at this shit. It was this green day every fucking day. Get up here and then flag a little bit, give you some kind of a decent system up here for your cock and your balls. And then see if he can, like, set up to go off this trigger at level up through here, maybe structure in here, and then push out again. So I think, you know, like I said, the market keeps its bullish stance. Like, you know, he's one of the guys that looks really good. All right, Tesla. Where did the list go? INJ USDT. Okay, well, we did this already. Cool. You guys must just ask me this because I feel like I just did this. So this is when we're talking about ETH, and we're talking about BTC. What's this? This must have been the Friday show. That was the Friday show, right? Oh yeah, I totally forgot that. Man, I must have been discombobulated when I started this. I forgot to put these on here. Wait a minute, did I not make that? What the fuck? Hold on a sec. Where did I put that guy? Oh yeah, I knew I fucking did that. Friday the 23rd. Am I crazy? Okay, no, that was after last show. Boy, I can't remember shit sometimes. Oof. Yeah, I forgot to even cover these. So yeah, Jesus, I don't remember anything. Do pay attention to this. One more chance to look at the artwork for Dark Heart of Darkness. I do like this so much. So if you guys pay attention to that show, we gave you one hell of a sentiment read last Friday. Not too shabby. The timing matters, right? And what was the write-up of that show? Again, right, speaking to mind state things. And this Kiki, this is something for you too, right? You get really sucked up in your feelings, you will miss other opportunities. You'll throw you off, right? The depths of our souls resonate with an all-consuming sense of loss, such as the bitter affliction we as frail beings face with FOMO, all the while failing to perceive the faint whispers of new beginnings, of what if, right? You get so inwardly focused, you can't fucking see, like, yeah, the whole world's going into you. But you can't see anything when that's what's going on, right? So you have to be able to, like, back up and look forward. And opportunities usually knocking when you're feeling that kind of way. And a lot of people are feeling that kind of way down here. So we gave you guys a squiggle in Heart of Darkness and money, right? That squiggle is tied to this. That was on that same show. And this guy, we gave him the same thing. He didn't really break out. So you do want to watch who is best of breed right now with that pump. And we did get BTC to rotate out. And now back above our key level, that's a trigger at 28.6. Then you got ETH to rotate up, and he did break the angle. The INJ could not, to at least suggest he's slightly stronger. You had a lot of trolling from Trollex this weekend, and where are we, guys? We are actually sitting in the Trollex box when Trollex is out on fucking Twitter. They got Price has memory and Price is people, so people have memory, and people are usually a son of a bitch in the same fucking place. Isn't that something? So, emotional shockwave range. I gave you guys a level through here. There's a mid-range level, 1931, and that's pretty much what we wick to right now. So you're paying attention to see if we sustain inside the emotion box and if we can pump up there. Remember this range? This was good congestion. He barred through it. So that's like a low range to pay attention now. If that can give it some support if he comes out. If you can continue to head higher. And the crypto move, like, you know, the stock move continues while no one believes either one of them. So yeah, squiggles for the win, right? So INJ USDT is tracking with that. If the market is pushing, structurally looks pretty good. He likely can continue to track higher too. And like we said here, above this range, this is like where no one cares. In a rotation like this and a bull flag back to highs, this is where generally no one looks, right? The sentiment's usually on your side to get much stronger movements, like in this portion of the rotation back to the high. Palantir, PLTR. Oh, that looks like shit. So this is what we had last time. We had a big ass bear flag on him as he tracked a wave in here. And that's the last time we looked. There's another bear flag here. And he's since rotated it while we weren't looking. So that's all old stuff now. What level do I like in here still? So let's take this. Cool. We'll leave those old levels. And this is a rotation from the depths of his bear market. So right now, you know, this entire range I think looks good that he's on top of. So, you know, like any bull flag rotation right now, we're waiting for like one good system now up above this shit where he is. Don't necessarily how big he's got to be. But he could continue this rotation up to head for this congestion. So definitely worth paying attention to. I feel like these lines aren't in the right place. Fuck them. I'll just redraw what's needed when it's needed. Yeah, these are in the right place. That's Palantir, GDX. So precious metals. Right now you're watching this kind of in tandem with gold itself, GLD, which is not on this chart. And they're not the best of breed right now in metals. Right now, non-precious has been a lot stronger. So and pay attention to that, right? Precious is still out. We're looking for this possibly to rotate the flag. He hasn't yet, so I just continue to track this and see if he comes later, because there is strength in basics, and if it keeps being strong enough, usually you'll see, non-precious eventually spill over to precious. So if those guys keep pushing, dudes like Nucor and shit like that, these guys keep on being stronger, they push out, they may start to drag some of the precious metal guys that have been more dogs right now. MRO, that's not his chart. MRO. Okay, so when was the last time we looked at this guy? Been a while. All right, so MRO, if we're looking over here, create a box range between two climaxable areas, two emotional areas, and we've got pretty good consolidation right in that lower range, like we said. So we want to see him recover this. This is the actual bull flag. That's your low. If he holds here and energy gets some strength, right, this low and a higher floor would let him rotate and begin his trend wave, to continue doing stuff like that. So that's what's possible. Also, if he gets through here, that won't be too good. We want to look at some of the other, parts of energy. And we've been watching OIH and stuff like that, see if you get some life to them. But right now, energy and oil has been kind of pretty weak. So even if they structurally look good, they're not really ready yet. XOP also is that's not his actual chart either. That's a huge bull flag, but I think I have another level for him over here. I guess I don't. Oh, I did. I had a trend line in this one. This is a little bit better. So we had a projection, a squiggle, for a pullback and a rotation back up that beats the trend line. He's in a place for that. You can see how similar this looks to MRO. So kind of noisy, but you want to rotate out of this and get on top of this area that you see MRO on before you fuck with it. That's MRO. Azuki Clonex. I'm gonna do the crypto things that require other charts afterwards. Adobe. All right, Adobe, huge fucking bull flag rotation. Let's see what we got here. Trigger level up here is not pre-COVID. Where's pre-COVID? Pre-COVID's down here. Okay, so this is the highest system we had. Put a trigger on this one. We looked at back in the day. This rotation right now is into this system. So use the same trigger again. He's this far up here. Let's think. 2 days. Let's look at hourly. So with this guy is kind of nuts. I'd like to see him have hit this and then kind of structure out against it. This is if the market keeps being super strong and he just actually holds this flag and actually goes from here and structures out again. He'll probably get some kind of a test, and then he'll shit himself on this level and give you a chance for something. Whether it's this shallow, I don't know. But you probably want something else up here, since where this guy is now, he's a little extended. If you let him hit a decent level and get a better correction, he'll probably give you a better system to work from than have to try to FOMO chase him in the speed of this particular wave up to that level. So he's close enough that probably some patience is warranted, and probably set up another play at this trigger, because at least you know how he behaves when he leaves that trigger, and he did have crazy fucking gas off of that. So it's definitely possible, and he sustained underneath it really good, so it's definitely a good line in the sand to make a plan like this box range over here, like this. Jesus, what is my computer is not acting right. Let's see what he does over here and make a plan for it, right? Well, we don't need that. All right, that's all of the normal stuff. Let's see, Pepe. Do I have Pepe somewhere? I do. All right, so we made you guys a projection last show. Sorry. Okay, pretty good. So projected you guys a cool area from over here, way back, back this show timing. And then, we got our good contact in the zone, and then we gave you guys a projection, I think at 1100 on the last show, and he barred out right after we're done on the air. So he's got a small system up here. He's above this, and now you're waiting for, you see what he's doing here. You're waiting for, Let me not make those the same every fucking color. Yeah, God, it looks terrible. Fuck it. Waiting to see what he does here. Another good flag, and he may have gas to start heading back up to this zone right now. But for right now, he did about what was expected. Pretty strong pump, right? He's over 50% off of this thing. I think it's like 60-something% off of this, right here. So, oh, I'm sorry. Now it's at 8:30, and he reached up here. This is a 100% move he's got. So, if anybody paid attention to this, free money, right? And he did what we told you, right? This, a shockwave is a time correction. It makes people fall asleep. It kills whoever's in there that has too much FOMO to sit on their hands. And ultimately, it gets the most amount of people to not pay attention, who ultimately become the body of people who are going to buy at higher prices off of whoever did not do that behavior. So it time corrected most people away from looking at it. They were all FOMO-tastic back here in May. No one gave a shit, in June. And he's out heading to July. And everybody who would kill themselves up here is dead and, falling asleep now with this. So he's in a good place, right? He did what was necessary to throw everybody off of it. So I think right now that was the only real level you got. That's his fractal version of Bitcoin 31,000 from 2021. It's the only level system he's got between here and going back to the fucking grave. So, pay attention to how this flags right here and see if he can continue to extend this projection. All right. Azuki and CloneX. Well, I think the weekend, shit show proved that, CloneX as a culture is fucking god awful. That's why we're CloneX Classic, because we already knew that. Tried to fucking put something out there that gave people ideas to start business with CloneX Classic, and ultimately they can't get out of their own way. We parted ways with Bad Take. Those guys just don't know how to fucking actually put a muzzle on the dog shit that's in their fucking ecosystem between that cocksucker Prez and that Uncle Tom Dre Mill. Those guys really can't fucking fix a ham sandwich between the two of them. But they contributed enough fucking drama to fucking really fucking harm the entire appearance of CloneX, especially when these dirtbags go inside of the holder channel and act like peasants in front of people who have put millions of dollars into supporting CloneX. So, unfortunately, bigots and fucking Uncle Toms think that they stand shoulder to shoulder with us. You can't bottom CloneX, fuck boys. We can. And that little mispriced reality and their little ego things, got in front of having a culture that was actually for CloneX, and they want to play tribal games. I gotta say, Zukis, those guys are some trolls, but those guys can actually support each other. And while we're out there having people trying to steal our IP rights, we end up confronting the reality that CloneX is so uneducated. They're trolling us about fucking our IP rights being stolen, not realizing that that's fucking their own IP rights that people can do. And if it became a norm, it'd be a disaster for everybody, right? A unified front in Web3 is what it's about, because that's why everyone said they want to be decentralized, so that fucking, Uncle Sam didn't have to tell you what to do. But ultimately, you see that, when the governance is left to the fucking, the pigs fucking do nothing but play and shit. So, the cultural problem is definitely turned into a valuation fucking arb between the two cultures. And the fact is, Azuki's, however trolly they might be online, at least a unified front between themselves. So, Azuki's are now, pushing 8x. Clones told folks online, right, that IP thing was probably going to put us through too. And ultimately, that combined with the dog shit culture and the lack of cohesion in the community and the toxicity that these cocksuckers want to display directly in the investor channel, the lack of moderation that fucking Artifact fucking does, the fact that the founders have spoken all of 2 times into 200,000 fucking people while giving undue attention to fucking scumbags on Twitter that number around 20 to 60 and completely mispriced fucking their own fucking ecosystem, which would have been more than enough support for clones. They've left that fucking ecosystem to the wolves. So, CloneX continues to suffer, bleeding out now down to the very lows. With him right now, this chart's not showing it, but he's pretty much in the lows now. And with that, with where he is at this point, you're just graphing a bear market. He needs to give you some kind of bottoming structure before you really give a shit. In the ones, he's going to have a discount bounce. He's ridiculous now. He's almost the price of a fucking bean. But also the reality is, I got to say, and I said also when it happened, that fucking luggage. Do you know how fucking absolutely damaging that luggage was? I'm going to close this poll. It's Tuesday's the winner. So let's close this. The Trolex shockwave is on point. Those guys really can't control themselves, right? And it's just the fact that like now that you're down at these prices, the cheaper it gets is the more peasant-minded motherfuckers that can afford to be in there, and you really can't have a blue chip product, when it's full of like degenerate peasants, and that's what you've got. You've got great technology and an interesting business model, but ultimately, Artifact is too busy selling fucking these idiots every fucking thing they can get their hands on between fucking like luggage and whatever other garbage nobody wanted, and putting so much products in the marketplace and just running money out of fucking their people that people are failing to see the value of what's going forward. Ultimately, putting a lot of digital assets into the marketplace, and many years out, those things are going to be awesome peripherals for Web3 citizens that are under the CloneX brand. But in the build out stages right now, it amounts to fucking taxing the shit out of everybody in the community to buy all these assets into the marketplace. And at the end of the day, they've done a piss poor job of managing the community to at least keep the hype in a place where they could sell out, the luggage, which they couldn't because nobody wanted it. And they just have like mismanaged their fucking community to a fucking amazing degree, the founders. So right now in this chart, I'm not even going to draw anything on it. He's just down in the dungeon. Like I said, with my clone, I have a plan for it, and my primary clone, he's more than made me back what I bought, what I paid for him, and I have forward utility that I want to do with animations and things with it. I could care less if it was attached to CloneX or not. It'd be nice if it was, but I had my own plans for this, regardless if CloneX was fucking existing in the next 2 to 3 years or not. And so, like I told many people on here, right, that I know many FOMO'd it. You had to have your own plan for it, right? And at least, if nothing else, if you're trading like some of the stuff on the show, we had crypto, you would have more than hedged out your risk with this. So, for people who are on this thing right now, like I can give you a bottoming call on this. I'm not going to help to bottom this thing twice. These assholes are going to have to fucking do something other than fucking talk shit and fucking, put their money where their mouth is. So with him right now, I can't say anything too positive about him. He's in a crash look and he's at the very lows of it. You're kind of just waiting to see where that bottoms out. It gives you a bottoming structure. So while you're on, like I said, if you look at like other deed and things like this, he's probably going to bounce before one, to be honest. So you probably find like, this is some anomalous wick, I think here. You probably want some candles, but you're following this channel down and you're just looking for, where you ultimately could rotate. And you should have some kind of like, relief rally at some point. So, that's what I can give you on that guy. Azuki things. If you want an Azuki CloneX ratio, I have to make that somewhere else. So I don't have time to make that. Let's see here. Azukis. So much healthier chart. That's also said for their their derivative, which is beans. These guys look just way more healthy. And at the end of the day, beans and Azuki, one thing that you can see from them, I've seen some clothes drop from these guys, but the people within these spaces, you don't see beans fighting with each other, and you don't see Azukis really fighting with each other. You see clones shitting on each other every fucking where. And if the dudes in Bad Take want to fucking be about that kumbaya, good morning, fucking toxic positivity shit, it's a turnoff. Nobody fucking likes that. And everyone can tell it's a bunch of garbage. If you're about fucking culture, then tell your fucking stupid pit bulls to shut the fuck up, because you poisoned the entire fucking ecosystem by not doing that. Ultimately, you just became a bunch of hot air. You do nothing, and you produce nothing. It's a fucking bunch of conversations about people's fucking sweaty fucking socks and stupid shit. And, you look like you have a fucking combined IQ of a fucking blender, let alone producing no alpha to the space and sabotaging the fucking optics of Artifact right in the fucking home server, like a bunch of dumb fucks you are. So, get your shit together. And I don't give a fuck if you don't like what I'm saying. Fuck you. All right. That's my message to Bad Take. Suck a dick. So, yeah, culture matters. Structurally, way stronger. We break out on here in beans. You never know, right? It's a what-if moment. These guys may have a drop while the Vegas event goes on, so you probably want to pay attention to these guys, see if they clear this crazy range. As far as the Zukis go out there, I think Zagabond has an event today where they meet up. Don't know what they have for drops, so there's like little hypey stuff around this that could kind of move things. And you do want to know about that, given the liquidity of these things and the fact that if there's an airdrop or something like that, there could be people buying before it. So just pay attention to what goes on the Vegas event. I don't know enough about that to tell you anything. But that being said, zoom in a little bit, and you guys can see, obviously, this is such a tedious way to do charts, but let's see. Let's grab this guy. If I wasn't clear, yes, I'm telling everyone in bad take that let that fuckface talk shit and talk shit to my son to suck a dick. So I make sure that's clear. I asked nicely a few times, No more nice. So that's the channel you're watching right there. And we'll zoom into this dude. Can see decent level there at 15. He was there for a while, and so right now he is flagging over 15. What if, right? Let's make that a different color. No. Maybe. Nope. White it is. So, what if? It's possible. Got them all. Damn, no screen since Clonex charts? Well, I do have those. That's a motherfucker. Well, that made sure I get that message to go fuck yourselves and bad take through for the third time. I can get those, don't worry. I saved them all. My phone must be fucking off, or what the fuck? It never rang. Never heard it. Don't worry. I got it. 2 hours we go. Shut up. Don't jinx me. I have these. So let's put this over here. God damn it. I'll do them again, motherfuckers. God damn it. Alright. So, Trollex, you heard everything that I said about them. Shitty culture, down in the dumps. It's bear market. You don't really have much structure to care about until he puts in some kind of a floor. So, zoomed into him, you get this guy. And looking at the very tail end of it, right, we need a bottoming structure here. So looked at it I already froze it, but chance, there's a good chance he bounces somewhere above 1. I don't think he has to make it to 1, but you're gonna need some kind of blowout. There's a bit of increasing volume here, so you can see some capitulation from some, the weaker hands that give it up, and then you probably get a little localized monopoly or perception that allows this bottom to round. The sentiment's pretty bad. They're all attacking each other again, so. It's kind of there, just like it was in April, and you're probably going to need somebody else to step in there and help push that guy out. But I think you probably see something before he gets down to 1.3 to 1.5. And then that was him. Sorry, gotta get back to the other one. And then the next guy is Azuki, and so we had 2 charts for him. You find those guys. So long-term Azuki chart is this channel, rising since September last year, really healthy, uptrend structure. I was trying to tell you something about beans. Damn, I fucked this all up. I'm about to go get the beans chart because I didn't save him at all. Let's get beans. My bad. So beans look good. They got a Vegas event right now. Beans are kind of congested here, so I thought this is probably worth paying attention to on these guys, right? Both of these guys are pretty strong. Be something if beans flips fucking a Clonex, right? He's pretty much got like a little hard top, like 141 and 42. He gets out of that. I think you should, pay attention for a possibility of beans doing shit like this. This is Azuki currently, really strong. When you look at this little area right here, you can kind of see it. This is where the bulk of the congestion was since the beginning of the year. So you got like a half a year of like decent volume, like, inside 12 to 14, more like 15 actually. And he's broken out above that. So I think this is kind of the range to stay above right now. And that gives you, where's my other chart for you, sir? Gives you a setup like this. And above that box range I just showed you, yeah, it's 15, right? You've got like possibly a bull flag setting up right now. And Zagabond has an event today, so that could be a catalyst. Beware of any kind of airdrops that they might have. If this pump is leading into like some known airdrop, then they could get a pump on that and a sell-off if that's the case. So yeah, that would be Azuki's right now, right? All right, so not 2 hours, motherfuckers. Where'd I get to? What is it? Hour and 46. Jesus fucking Christ. No screen. I got a tip for having no screen for like fucking the whole fucking NFT section. Awesome. My bad on that one. Oh, you know what? I have a different fucking I have a different like do not disturb for like trading, so fucking like notifications should stop showing up over top of my fucking like my platform. I got fucked by a phone call fucking me, so I turned off everything. Okay, yeah, so that's not handy to have on during the show. Well, I'm supposed to be trading now, so that's why this is on. I have a trading like configuration to kill everything this time. Anyways, you wouldn't believe it. I had a phone call cover up my fucking exit and just it wrecked me. So anyways, yeah, my bad. So NFTs, FX, all things good. Good trigger on the NQs. Hope you guys hit that. Got a free roll and a freebie out of that for the morning. Don't get too in your feels right now. It's where most people in the market are, because that's what it takes for everyone to be missing for a bull flag of this resolution to rotate. It's what it takes for the banking crisis or the internet bubble. Like flags of that size depress whole fucking civilizations, right, before they go. So, I think the scorecards we got today were a good reflection and probably a good insight into where a lot of people who don't have the courage to speak up on it are. And, if you're giving yourself an unreasonable amount of hell because you haven't pulled off fucking championship run in trading, give yourself a little breather. You came to the room to be students. You're in many of your training since you came to this eco and watching the show. And if you've been here like a year or two, there are people been in the game like 2, 3, 4, 5 years they're still refining many things that you'd consider kind of like ridiculous to overlook. Communication's key. Seeing that right now, it's really helpful to know where a lot of other people are. So I'd like to definitely have a better conversation with you guys on Tuesday post market. We're gonna do that concept call for Tuesday, and I'd like anybody else that's having issues like what Kiki reflected upon to be willing to speak on that in that call, and I'll do my best to help you, with a plan to get you to organize shit to see through that. Ultimately, when you have good organization, you have all your ducks in a row, it reduces a lot of the anxiety that impacts your performance. If you go into the market and you feel like you're missing something, or you don't remember where you saved a note about XYZ, and you start trading with a bunch of unknowns in your head, you're going to perform worse than the version of you that goes in within a calm mind state. So thought preceding action equals like set yourself up to succeed by making sure you get rid of everything that can put you in a less than optimal mind state to begin to take your trades. It's it's a lot of work that goes on, off the chart that impacts what you do on the chart, and more of it's off the chart than on the chart. So we will do concepts for Tuesday. Right now, if you guys had a good week, market does have the ability to possibly push before the bell, and crypto is strong as fuck. So I keep eyes on that. We're in the Troll box for ETH. ETH and BTC are probably your two best barometers for what's going on, especially with BTC, having dominance out. He is the leader in the market, right? And a lot of people are going to try to find like dogs, and Pepe is moving. But in general, you really don't go wrong with best of breed, right? So if you don't want to miss the move, play the guy that's the strength of the move. There are going to be guys that are sympathy plays. There are going to be stuff that pumps, in other markets. But while BTC dominance is strong, I've seen people do it many cycles past. Don't ignore that. For the whole back end of 2017, everybody wanted everything but Bitcoin, and that's what allowed Bitcoin to tear ass, and crush everything else. And that sentiment's there. Nobody wants 30,000 Bitcoin. Nobody wanted 16, and nobody's happy it's at 30. So those are sentiment things, right? Skeleton crew vibes still abound in the Discord. Pay attention to that also, and do whatever it takes to not correlate with large volumes of people in closed systems that are all doing the exact same shit. For the rest of you guys, like, retweet, do shit. Catch you on the flip. Peace.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly.
It's not 2 hours, motherfuckers. Not 2 hours.